Check, check. Check, check. Welcome into Clippers Talk. I'm Adam Osland. Hey, Clippers in Philadelphia, taking on the 76ers. Tip-off is just about, I don't know, I guess an hour and 8 minutes away. We'll start your official pregame show here in 8 minutes. Yes, I'm wearing my Clippers beanie. It's that time of the year. I think when it gets 60 degrees, it's cold outside, and I start to feel it, and I don't like it. My home is brick, and so there's not much insulation, and I need this
Is it a brick
house. Big Bad Wolf ain't blowing us down, I'll tell you that. What up, Clipper Nation? High Sore Loser Gaming. Let's go. Big game. Can the Clippers make it 5 straight? I think so. I think they got a shot. A real shot.
saying there's a chance?
What's that, Katie?
So you're saying there's a chance?
So you're saying there's a chance. MJR said Miller time. 4-game road trip. Starting today in Philadelphia, tomorrow in Boston. What time is that game tomorrow?
Also early.
It is. Oh, so Boston's on a back-to-back too. 4:30 tomorrow. Pregame at 3:30. Boston's winning right now by 9, late third quarter in Boston against Minnesota. So at least they're on a back-to-back as well. What's up, JMI? I think JMI 1324 is coming on with me tomorrow to help me preview the Clippers Boston game since he's such a big fan of the Celtics. Link26 said, hey, it's game day. Hi. Do you guys hear that? It's just me. Hey, Hyperdrive. Great question. Not really. You're in timeout. Is Kawhi playing today? Yeah. I was waiting to break the news for the entire world today on Clippers Talk pregame. Oh, you guys didn't know? Come on. He must be trolling. I got enough of them in here. But when you time out people enough, they start to figure it out. It's like putting a dog collar on. You shock them enough, you get the behavior you want eventually. These timeouts are very effective. What up, TT? Go Clippers. Let's go Clippers. Jose and Southgate going to call in post-game? How do you guys feel about these Sunday away games during the NFL season? I kind of feel like there's so much going on. But that's all right. I'm always up for Clippers basketball. As I turn on the Red Zone channel. I think the Chargers have a big game tomorrow night or something. Harbaugh Bowl. That's right.
Channel is what's it called?
TT is hyped. It's game day. Hey, dogs in the house.
Watch Paw Patrol.
Did our box change?
Yeah, we have a Spectrum. I think because they.
When did this happen?
I don't know. A while back.
Where was I? Hello Dolo. What's up, Adam? And chat. What's up, Hello Dolo? My Panthers did what they were supposed to do. Lose late, be competitive, and try to get the number 1 pick. They took care of business. And the field looked pretty. It looked like I was playing Madden 97 on my Sega Genesis again. Did you see the Carolina Panthers in the end zone? The pattern. It was the throwback. Because they're celebrating 30 years of Panthers football. Next 30 are going to be rough. Juan says, oh, he's waving. Hi, Juan. Hello, 6 a.m. in Japan right now. Our friend in Japan. Pregame starts in 3, guys. I'm gonna send the link to Carlos so he can hook up. Let's see here.
Why would we do Dateline instead?
Oh my God. Link.
All right, well, turn that off. We can do this. Goodbye, chat.
We're going to whip on PG again. Paul George is not playing. Embiid is not playing. What jerseys are we wearing? I don't think they're wearing the red in this game.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys. I have to go, but we'll be back in 2 minutes here. I'm not leaving, just sound. Welcome into Clippers Countdown. Is your 10-7 LA Clippers, who have won 4 in a row, are starting off a 4-game road trip today in Philadelphia, in the city of brotherly love, who currently are showing not much of that right now to their 3-12 Sixers, who have been dealing with more adversity due to injuries and infighting than any other franchise so far this season, as they are without Joel Embiid and Paul George today, who both have knee injuries. But this Clippers team still cannot look past Tyrese Maxey and rookie Jared McCain out of Duke, who's averaging an efficient 26 points per game his last 6 contests. But the Clippers defense, they held him to 5 points a couple weeks ago back at the Dome. So they cannot help but bring Clamp City and that mindset with them, as they're trying to make it, 5 straight victories overall after 7 straight at Intuit Dome after another big victory on Friday night.
Derrick Jones Jr. right down Broadway, goes up, lays it up, and the foul. Sabonis the hack. Murray right elbow, bounce pass. Dunn is there. He breaks it up. Welcome to the dungeon. Coffee running, lays it up with the left hand. Offensive rebound, Bamba with 2 left wing 3. Buckets. Finds Miller left corner, Nugent 3. Buckets. Into the hands of Derrick. Back to Dunn. Coffee to the rim. 2-handed flush. Bamba left corner 3. Oh yeah! Mo Bamba bottoms from the left corner. APJ into traffic. The floater. The Tigers.
The Clippers held the Kings to 29 points in the first half and made the plays late to slam the door shut on Sacktown. They would win 104-88 over the Kings at Intuit Dome Friday night. Here was Coach Lou on if the defense can be this good every single night.
We have to be. I mean, that's who we have to be. And I thought our offense was actually pretty good tonight. We got some really good shots that we didn't make. And so, like I told you, when we get 40, 40 42 threes, that means we're playing basketball the right way. And so we didn't make shots tonight, but our defense, like you said, held us up. And that's what we got to be every night. We're going to be the hardest playing team. We got to be locked in, have a defensive mindset every single night. And offensively, like I said, we take care of the basketball, 12 turnovers or less, which we did. And then also, like I said, taking 42 threes means we get into the paint and we're attacking and making the right play. And we also had 94 shots tonight, which is, a lot for us, So just keep building, continue to build off this. But I thought overall, defensively and offensively, I thought we got some good shots that we just didn't make.
Now can they make the same plays leading to those open shots and this time get them to fall in Wells Fargo Center today in Philadelphia? Well, tip time between the Clippers and Sixers is just about 58 minutes away. Coming up, Coach Lou will be here. But up next, it's your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez right here. You're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Philadelphia taking on the 76ers. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Coming up, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind, but first we're heading back over. Your radio voice of the Clippers from Wells Fargo Center. It is Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, how we doing?
Adam, we're good.
We're still figuring out the whole internet situation here, so I'm going phone screen for the opening segment on the YouTube at Clippers Talk if you aren't there. But I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Happy to get after it. We should have a good one today.
Clippers looking to make it 5 straight victories. They had won 7 straight at Intuit Dome after Friday night's big victory with a big defensive performance against the Sacramento Kings, holding them to 88 points, but just 29 points in the first half. Clamp City is being established in their new home right now, Carlo.
This is a defense, Adam, that just continues to excel on that side of the basketball, something they hang their hat on, and really led by Derrick Jones Jr. and Chris Dunn. When they bring their energy on the defensive end every single night, it is easy for this Clippers group to rally behind them, and that's what we're seeing. They're setting the tone. I also thought Terrence Mann had a great defensive game for them. He finished with 3 steals in that one. The Clippers hounded the passing lanes, and the NBA is learning that you just can't drive the lane on this team nonchalantly. They are going to collapse. They they make things mucky in the paint and make it awfully hard for opponents to get clean looks.
Clippers with 13 steals in that ball game, and they cut down on their own turnovers after having 25 against Orlando, just 12 against Sacktown. Much better in that area. They took to coaching well when it came to making that adjustment.
Yeah, they have. It's something they've done really well, Adam, over that 4-game homestand. I thought they did outside of the game against Orlando, where they turned it over 25 times. The Clippers kept the turnover numbers relatively low the entire way, and it's a big reason why they're getting a lot of shots up. Got 94 shots up in the last game. That's high for this Clipper team that coming into that contest was averaging, see if I have it here, about 88 field goals a contest. You get a 6 more, and that could be the difference in a ball game. And for the Clippers, it was an excellent start to what should be a great run as they continue this great defensive standing. I think this team showing, Adam, that they can be a top 5 defense. They are a top 5 defense right now, but they could do it the entire year.
Yeah, and this Clippers team, by the way, they showed up when they had to late. The lead was down to 7 in the third quarter. Big 3 from James Harden. Lead was down to 8 in the fourth quarter. They double-teamed James Harden. He found Derrick Jones Jr. in the short roll for a floater. I love the execution when they had to have it against Sacramento.
Yeah, when they needed their group to come with buckets late, they got them. And that speaks to the clutch time experience this team's had. I mean, they've played 10 clutch games this season, near the top of the NBA. They understand pressure moments, and they continue to deliver in pressure moments. James Harden, no stranger to playing down the stretch. But I think Kevin Porter Jr.'s ability, when they needed some scoring early in that fourth quarter to get the offense in rhythm, was excellent. He had 12 in a row. He had 14 of his points in the final 14 minutes of the contest. He was great with the basketball. The Clippers have some great one-on-one scores on this team. And when you think about guys like James and KPJ, they can get to their shot anytime.
Yeah, KPJ with 12 of his 14 points in the final 12 minutes of the contest. Clippers in Philadelphia, they are taking on the 76ers. Coming up next is Carlo Jimenez speaking with assistant coach B. Shaw. I'm Adam Oslin. You're listening to Clippers Countdown right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Philadelphia taking on the 76ers. Tip-off is just about 49 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Oslin. This is Clippers Countdown, the official pregame show of your Los Angeles Clippers. Still to come, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind. We'll take things back to 2001, but first, we're heading back over to your radio voice of the Clippers and Carlo Jimenez.
Thank you so much, Adam. Here with assistant coach Brian Schaub for the Clippers take on the Philadelphia 76ers. Coach, what did the team do so well during the four-game winning streak at home they have to carry into this four-game road streak?
Well, the biggest thing I would say, with the exception of one of the games, is we really took care of the ball, which allowed us to have more, shot attempts, more possessions that didn't end in giving the ball to the other team and them going down and scoring, and us not being able to get back in transition. Our defense was really good. We were flying around, during that home streak as well. And the guys just looked like they were really having fun and finding the joy in playing basketball.
Ty talked about shooting 43s as a good marker for this team. Is that because it means you're taking care of the basketball, or what else does 43s tell you about your offense?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the league as a whole has emphasized, more three-point attempts. But one of the reasons why we weren't able to get up that many attempts is because we weren't having those possessions, because we were turning the ball over. So if we can take care of the ball, everybody gets involved. Everybody gets a chance to line it up and shoot, and then they have fun on defense. It carries over to the offensive side, and that's what makes it all work.
Talking about having fun on defense, Chris Dunn and Derek Jones Jr. are guys who came here and said, we want to be first or second team defenders. When you were a player playing with a guy like Chris or Derek, does that help you get up on the defensive end when somebody like that, one of your teammates, is playing so hard?
Most definitely. I never was a star player on any of the teams that I played for, but when you have a couple of guys that come out and that they're going to take on the challenge of guarding the other team's best players, and set the tone defensively, with the pressure that they bring, it kind of trickles down and everybody else feeds off of it. And so, like I said, it's defense is a dirty work job. Somebody has to do it. And, we have two of the best in the league at going out and setting the tone for us, especially, early in games when we've been able to get off to good starts.
Just two more for you, Coach, but two of smaller guards for Maxey and Jerry McCain here in Philadelphia. What's the key? What challenge do they present to you guys on the defensive end?
Well, their youth and their quickness, for one, and they're both very offensive minded and can score the ball. Maxey's shown that since he's gotten into the league, and McCain in a short time has shown that he can really score and that he belongs here as well. So we're going to have to be physical with them and knock them off their spots and make it very, very uncomfortable for them, make them play in crowds. And that's something that plays to our strength if we're able to do that.
And finally, Kevin Porter Jr. has played excellently over the last 8 games compared to the first 8 games he started the season. What has he done differently, or what has he grown into to turn that corner?
Well, I think one of the things he really started putting in the work, but he also starting to feel more comfortable in his role and in the system that he's playing with. And, our lineups have changed, due to, some of the injuries that we've experienced. But I think he's just feeling comfortable all the way around, understanding, how we want him to play. And then going out there, just picking and choosing times when he can make, and when he needs to score. But one of the things that he's consistently done well, he's rebounded the ball and really got in the passing lanes and got steals on the defensive end. So that's helped us out a great deal.
Thank you so much, Coach. Best of luck.
All right. Thanks, Carlo.
Carlo Jimenez there with head coach, or assistant coach in this case, former head coach of the Denver Nuggets, Brian Shaw. Shaw, Clippers in Philadelphia, East Coast swing. Tip-off just 45 minutes away. Clippers and Sixers. And coming up next, we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Philadelphia 76ers from Philadelphia. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. Tip-off just about 42 minutes away. Still to come here. We'll get your player to watch, but first we're going back in time in Clippers Rewind. Almost 23 years here to June 27th of 2001. Over 23 years, I guess you could say now. In theaters at the time was Steven Spielberg's AI and the original Lara Croft Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie. And the first Fast and the Furious movie was out. Toronto. We're about to reach the, 12th, something like that. They're in space now. On the radio charts at the time was the pop star collaboration with Christina Aguilera, Lil' Kim, Pink, and Maya with their version of Lady Marmalade. But first, it was the 2001 NBA draft, and the Clippers were making a big move.
We have a trade to announce. No, it's not Charles Barkley. The Los Angeles Clippers have traded the rights to Tyson Chandler and the contract of Brian Skinner to the Chicago Bulls for Elton Brand.
Yeah, the Clippers giving up the draft rights to Tyson Chandler to get EB, but it worked out because Elton Brand averaged 20 and 10 and 2 blocks per game for his 7-year Clipper career. Helped them reach the second round of the playoffs back in 2006. The best years of his career were in a Los Angeles Clippers jersey. And now, well, he's working in the front office in Philadelphia next to Daryl Morey. Clippers in Philadelphia taking on the 76ers. Tip-off is just about 40 minutes away, and coming up next, your player to watch right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Sixers from Philadelphia. Tip-off is just 38 minutes away. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Still to come, you're going to hear from La Murray of The Athletic. But first,
this is LA Clippers basketball.
Watching this guy play right now is really something.
Players to watch.
you know, I was going to go with Chris Dunn because he's only 8 for his last 28 from the outside. Even though his defense has been great, his playmaking has been great. He's just been off with the shot. But with Mo Bamba back in Philadelphia, I like the revenge factor there. I think Mo Bamba is about to have a big game. maybe his first 10-plus point game as a Clipper off the bench, playing that backup big man role for them. You know how it goes. You're going up against your former employer. You just play with a little bit more energy out there. You want to remind them what they're missing. Mo Bamba's coming off a 6.8 board, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal performance, but he had 5 fouls against the Sacramento Kings on Friday night. I expect him to show out back in Philadelphia against his former squad today. Clippers, Sixers, tip-off just 37 minutes away here on Clippers Countdown. And up next, we'll get your injury report right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Sixers from Philadelphia tipping off just about 35 minutes from now. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up here on your Clippers official pregame show, Clippers Countdown, we'll have La Murray on from The Athletic. But first, let's get to your injury report brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code KLAC to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. No Paul George for the 76ers with that bruised left knee after once again hyperextending it. No Joel Embiid. He's got a swollen left knee for the 76ers. As for your Los Angeles Clippers, still no Kawhi Leonard. He did not travel with them on the trip. Norman Powell is there with the Clippers, but out with the hamstring injury today. Clippers, Sixers. Coming up next, as we're just about 34 minutes away from tip-off, we got La Murray, a Philly native. He's coming on, courtesy of The Athletic. I'll ask him about what's happening in the locker room there in Philadelphia and what the Clippers can expect in this one, right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers taking on the Philadelphia 76ers in Philly. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Countdown. Still to come, we'll get to an NBA League look around, but join the show right now from Wells Fargo Center is our friend La Murray of The Athletic. La, looking good. Thanks for doing this here on the pregame show.
Thank you.
I got you, La. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Yep.
All right, let's do this thing. So, where would you rank that first half performance by the Clippers defensively against the Kings? How much of that was the Clippers defense setting in, and how much was just maybe some fluky shooting from Sacramento?
Honestly, it's always going to be fluky shooting. You know, like you saw the second half, you saw the third quarter. The Kings scored more points in that third quarter than the entire first half combined. But you got to give the Clippers a lot of credit for making the Kings uncomfortable, for being disruptive. There were a lot of those possessions during that 20-1 first quarter run. I mean, the Kings didn't even get a shot off. So you can't say, oh, it's fluky shooting. It's like there's no shot to account for it. You got stops, then there's no fluke involved in that. Like, they're taking the ball and they're going the other way with it. And I think the most incredible thing about it is people were talking about how the game should not be as close as it was. It's like, dude, the Clippers failed to break 40% shooting from the field, you know, in that first half, and they're up 22. Like, you know, I think I thought that was a phenomenal stretch of defense. They obviously could not maintain that for the entire game, but that's how basketball games are won. Basketball games are, can you put runs together, and runs start with the defense. And that was absolutely phenomenal defense to hold a team with that much talent, with that much rest. They had 3 days off, Adam, going into a cup game, and they were able to absolutely lock that thing down for 6 minutes as far as not giving up a single field goal.
Yeah, I agree with you. The fact that the Clippers weren't knocking down shots, or they weren't having some weird fluky shooting go for them, and that was something where defensively, I think it got the rest of the national media's attention a little bit, just how good they can be. They're starting to come around on the Clippers, but
that's always, but you know,
yeah, well, the casual national media, you know how it is. This Clippers team in the fourth quarter, what are you seeing from Kevin Porter Jr.? Because he had 12 of his 14 points in the fourth quarter, and over the last 10, 11 games now, he's been much more efficient out there. Is he starting to figure it out a little bit, or is this just a guy who is, you know, catching that rhythm, I guess?
Honestly, I don't think Kevin's doing a whole lot of things different now than where we were wrapping up that 10-game trial that we were talking about. You know, I feel like that was when Kevin was starting to turn the corner with what works and what doesn't work. He's still doing a lot of stuff that doesn't work. You know, we're seeing that. I mean, Kevin, I think, started 1 of 8 through 3 quarters Friday night. But in the fourth quarter, we're talking about him scoring. He made every single shot inside the three-point line. He was 6 of 6 inside the three-point line in the fourth quarter. And him being able to get to his own shot and also move really well off the ball for a guy who's shooting poorly to start the year, especially from 3, that has been critical. Like, Kevin's shooting and his shot selections have been a little bit like, you know, it makes you seasick. But it's clear when he can score, it's a big deal. And he does a lot of stuff when he doesn't have the ball that really helps his team. Like, the cutting is not something I really expected him. He's been outstanding playing either with Harden or without Harden, but with other guys handling the basketball and finding a way to catch and score that way. His defense and rebounding have been critical. You know, so a guy who's not going to be in position. You know, other guys really, if Kevin wasn't rebounding and defending as well, he wasn't not going to be. He missed so many shots, man. Like, they were like, what, 11 of 47 outside the paint. Like, that's not even 25%. So it's just been offensively. I wonder what we're going to get tonight. Like the Sixers, they're not bad because of their defense. I will tell you that much. You know, they are second in the league at forcing turnovers. So you got a team in the Clippers where whatever lineup will help them take care of the basketball and help them get shots is going to be something that T. Lue needs to go to.
What's the temperature right now in Philly? I'm guessing it's pretty hot. You know, you got to cook those.
Actually, it's pretty cloudy. You know, it's very nice for late November.
Okay, but when it comes to the fan base and how they're feeling about this team right now, you're a Philly guy. Is it already DEFCON 1 with everything going on with the injuries, the infighting, and the locker room situation? Is this a total meltdown?
You know, I was in the locker room today. You know, I got to catch up with some people. I really like this team, you know, that they put together. And so I don't get that feeling. You know, the thing about the NBA is you might have some bad nights, bad games, bad moments, but the reset moments are the big thing with me. Like, I've seen that covering the Clippers for as long as I've been covering the Clippers, you know, both at the Athletic and before that. It's like you can have a really bad moment, but then it's like, how do you reset your energy? And I think that this team has enough guys to have the perspective of it's a long season. We are not quite 20% of the way through it. And so obviously Philadelphia, that's the locker room. Obviously Philadelphia fans, they're passionate about the team. Like Nico, he talked to the media before the game today, and he basically shared how people care about all the sports teams here. They don't care about the Sixers like they care about other teams here. The Eagles are playing tonight. There's a reason this game is 6 p.m. Eastern, because Sunday Night Football in L.A., the Eagles are playing. They want to make sure to avoid the conflict. They all know which team runs Philadelphia. So, you know, the worst thing that can happen is this Sixers team can be so uninspiring that they don't show up, they don't care, they don't boo, they don't say anything. And I don't think we're at that point yet, but another month of the kind of basketball and experiences that this team had, then maybe they get to that point.
What have you heard, though, when it comes to the reporting from your old friend Shams Charania regarding the personality conflicts and Tyrese Maxey calling out Joel Embiid for showing up late to meetings? Has that been a part of his reputation with Joel Embiid, or are we just finding out about this?
Y'all just finding out about it. Like, Philadelphia has been, you know, a mismatch of personalities almost Joel's entire time here. You know, there's been reporters in Philadelphia who've done a good job of chronicling that. We've had people for years chronicling the issues. Like Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons were a playoff team every single year. Those two were on the floor together, and people basically try to talk about how different those guys were and how challenging those guys were for years. James Harden is in LA because of personality conflicts with this franchise. Like, we've seen it for years. Now, the issue is that Joel is still here. And when you're still there, there's a point where it's like, okay, what's the constant? What's in this situation? And so I love Joel. Joel is a player who's about Philadelphia. He wants to play. He's had a really rough run of it from a health perspective. I'm sure every Clipper fan can relate to that. I'm sure people who used to be Clippers that are now at the Sixers, they see some things, some parallels that they probably wish they didn't see. So I just feel like, you know, obviously the microphone, the mouthpiece is a little louder sometimes, but, you know, the Sixers, they've been dealing with some of the same stuff for a decade now.
Do you think, maybe it's too early for this, but I read a lot of the comments under the last Podcast P episode, and people seem to already be turned off by the fact that he has a podcast while they're now 3-12, and while they're playing this poorly and he's not available. How bad can things get with Paul George? Could he get booed the next time he's introduced for a ball game?
Nah, like, I don't think they should, because at the end of the day, this is a dude who wanted to come to Philadelphia and play for the Sixers, you know? Like, they had Tobias Harris here, and they gave Tobias Harris a whole lot of work because he didn't live up to a contract. I remember when Elton Brand left the Clippers to come to the Sixers, and Andre Iguodala, he signed his rookie extension around the same time, and they thought Andre Iguodala had another ceiling from a scoring perspective to get to, and they were very dissatisfied. So, Paul George being Paul George, it's like, I don't think people should boo him for being who he is and who he's always really been. I think that they should appreciate him getting back and trying to make it work. And that's the thing. It's like the honeymoon period here is over, but that's not to say that you should consider it a cooked period already. Like it's too early for any of that. And I think that the people here, they got to support their team. I think that's all Joel's ever wanted. He's wanted people to support the team out on the floor, whether those guys are playing or not. And if those guys are playing, it's like, don't boo them. They're going to need the support. That's where the Sixers are at right now. I could be wrong, but I think that's where they're at right now.
How good has Jared McCain been so far for this team, and how much better can he get?
I'll tell you what, the thing with Jared McCain is this is a guy that when the Clippers hosted the Sixers earlier this month, he wasn't playing. He wasn't in the rotation. He didn't really get into the game until it was clear that Maxey was hurt and that the veterans didn't really have it. And that's the other thing where it's like I'm actually pretty optimistic about the Sixers given their current circumstances. If those guys were available and playing, Jared McCain probably is collecting dust at the end of the bench. But because they've had injuries and because they've had a lack of juice offensively especially, Jared McCain's been able to come out here after not really having a standout summer league season, after having a decent year at Duke, but not a great year. This was not a strong draft, and he's still, unlike Dalton Connect, who's, older than some of the dudes that he's teammates with the Lakers. Jared McCain is a guy who was playing high school ball 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? He still wasn't a lottery pick in this year's draft. Jared McCain was not going to get the opportunity unless guys started missing time. Unless the Turks was like, screw it, I got to find somebody with some offensive game. And he's absolutely exceeded expectations. We're about to see tonight, with him being high on the scouting report, how he handles a defense that is playing as well as the Clippers defense has been. But Jared McCain, give him all the credit. I watched him a ton this summer. I did not expect him to pop this early with the level that he's playing with. And a lot of it is confidence. Any dude that's going to come out here with all the TikToks, y'all talk about Paul George in his podcast, he ain't the only one broadcasting. And so, you got to keep that same energy, whether things are good or bad.
Yeah, well, there's a rookie who's averaging more points than him right now is the problem, so he can get away with it. But last one for you here, Law. How did the Clippers translate or bring that defensive energy or whatever they have it into a dome going for them, having won 7 straight at home, out on the road now for the next 4?
Well, they started well on the road this season, too. They went to Denver, and they won that game. They went to Golden State, second night of a back-to-back, and they handled and controlled that game. So, going on the road for this team is a matter of just understanding that it's all on them. They don't have the crowd support. They don't have the wall. They don't have the comfort of a routine. It's like, go out and play basketball, and when things get tough, then stay together. And a lot of those guys were here for the last time the Sixers and Clippers played in this building. That was an eventful game. A lot of back and forth, a lot of animosity, a lot of adversity, and they found a way to win by 1 point. And Kelly Oubre had to tell each of the 3 referees in that game exactly how he felt about it. So when you have those experiences, you are going to be able to draw from them and keep the poise necessary to win games. And so they played horribly in Oklahoma City and Houston. That was a terrible road trip for them. I think they all understand that there's no let-up just because you won some games at home. You have to bring different energy. I said that about the Sixers, even though they're losing. It's the same for the Clippers, even though they're winning.
He's your ace reporter for the Los Angeles Clippers. It's Law Murray, at Law Murray, the NU. He does it for The Athletic. Law, I'm sure there's no place like home for you. Enjoy yourself. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Enjoy the games, everybody.
Coming up next, we will get to an NBA out-of-town scoreboard right here on Clippers Countdown as we're 15 minutes away from tip-off. Clippers in Philadelphia taking on the 76ers. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Philadelphia taking on the 76ers. Tip-off is just about 14 minutes away. Welcome back. I'm Adam Osland. Thanks a lot, Murray of The Athletic, once again for coming on. Right now, let's get your drive around the league. Brought to you by Toyota's electrified lineup, including hybrids, plug-in hybrids, all electrics, and even fuel cell electric vehicles. So you can choose exactly the type you need for your lifestyle. We make it easy. One game is in the books today in the National Basketball Association, where the Boston Celtics would win at home over the Timberwolves by 2. Just went final. 107-105 was your final. Celtics winning by 2 over the Timberwolves. Clippers will be in Boston tomorrow, taking on the best, not just best team in the East, best team in the league, the defending champs. Right now, early second quarter in Indianapolis, the Pacers trail the Wizards 36-33. Clippers in Philly taking on the 76ers. Tip-off is coming up in 13 minutes, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers and Sixers from Philadelphia. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Moslin. Tip-off is just about 10 minutes away. Still to come, we'll get your keys to victory here in your pregame show. As I'm watching Carlo Jimenez on, so he can't tell that we're trying to go to him right now because it is his segment. Carlo, put on your damn headphones. Clippers and Philadelphia 76ers. It is game 1 of this 4-game road trip where the Clippers will try to handle their business and get the season sweep over the Philadelphia 76ers, as we are now rejoined by Carlo Jimenez, probably on the TikTok. Carlo, this Philadelphia 76ers team, they have been in the struggle, to say the least. What are you sensing from the fans, the crowd, the city being in Philadelphia with just how they have, I don't know, embraced or have already drawn the ire of Paul George and him being in Philadelphia and how they're feeling right now about this team?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of frustration simply because no Joel Embiid and no Paul George. Neither of them have been able to play healthy. I think Maxey, Embiid, and George have played 8 minutes together, Adam, and we are on game 18 of the season. It has been a tough go for those 3 guys. I think for this city as a whole, though, a lot of excitement's building around Jared McCain. He has been excellent for this team in the last 5 games. He's scoring the ball at a high rate in the starting lineup. lineup. But honestly, Adam, it's an Eagles Sunday here in Philadelphia, and nobody is really watching this game without the Eagles game in between their lap, that's for sure.
Well, if the Philadelphia 76ers players want to get distracted by that too, I'm all for it. Tyrese Maxey, though, is back. He's played the last couple of games for them, had an efficient game in their win over the Brooklyn Nets in their last outing in Philadelphia. This is somebody the Clippers have to find a way to stop. And they were successful even before he left that game with a hamstring injury back into a dome against him.
Yeah, he's appeared in the last 2 games, starting to get his legs underneath him. Hasn't really reached a true minutes restriction, even though he says he's on one, but he played 27 minutes Friday against Brooklyn. So whatever that minutes restriction is, it's probably pretty high. I think somebody like Maxey, though, has taken so much weight to start the season. I mean, Adam, when we saw this Philadelphia team earlier in the year, Maxey was playing 41 minutes a game. That was number 1 in the NBA, and it was, game 8 or 9? So far, he has been cutting that down significantly down to 36. Still a lot of minutes, but not nearly 41. So Tyrese Maxey taking a load a little bit off his shoulders because of the emergence of somebody like Jared McCain, but still the head of the snake for this team, averaging a team-high 25 points a game.
What have you seen from Jared McCain so far and just his development already this season and how it's translated so well from college to the pro level?
He plays very hard. I mean, he plays extremely hard. He has a high wind. He's always running around on the offensive end. He can score the basketball. There's no doubt about that. The only guy to ever average more points than Jared McCain is averaging as a starter, as a rookie, is Michael Jordan. Now, I'm not saying Jared McCain's Michael Jordan, all right? He's played 5 starts, but I'm just saying we want to put some context on this. 26 points a game as a rookie, starting in your first year is very impressive. Jared McCain, though, Adam, doesn't exactly know NBA defense yet. That's something Nick Nurse talked about in his pregame press conference today. He said he's still learning how to navigate through off-ball movements, how to be able to play defense without fouling. So don't be surprised if James Harden sees that matchup on the outside and goes at it. We know Ty Lue is somebody who's going to continue to pick at the same scab time and time again on the offensive end. He wants to attack your weakest link, and he's going to do it until you change something. And so it would not be surprised if, while Jared McCain has a great offensive night, the Clippers are headhunting him, and he knows that a little bit on the defensive end.
So my player to watch in this one, Mo Bamba, back in Philadelphia. He was playing through a knee injury all of last season. He disclosed that recently with the Los Angeles Clippers. So I'm interested to see how that effort he gives against his former team, his former employer, goes at Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah, it should be interesting because Mo Bamba is somebody who talked about the Sixers training staff just having him play through that knee injury that he then would try to manage time and time again. And then when he comes over to the Clippers training staff says, hey, if you try to keep playing through this knee injury, you're going to change the biomechanics of how you're moving and essentially cause harm to places in your body that aren't connected to your knee, but connected to the way you're making up for that knee injury. So Bamba took out the first 16 games of the year. The Clippers are undefeated in the Mo Bamba era. They'll try to keep that rolling. They've won all 4 of his games, and he's really been a presence underneath. Don't be surprised if he has an excellent game today. He's going against Andre Drummond, who will be the backup center for Philadelphia today. The Sixers going small once again. And Andre Drummond and Mo Bamba, I'm sure, had some battles at practice at him, and now an opportunity for Mo to really show that he can play with some of the best big men in the NBA.
Carlo Jimenez is on the call. Tip-off just about 6 minutes away. Clippers in Philadelphia taking on the 76ers. And coming up next, we'll get to your keys to victory right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers in Philadelphia taking on the 76ers. Tip-off just moments away. Let's get to your keys to victory. Philadelphia 76ers are the second worst three-point shooting team in the league at just 32.1% from the outside. Keep them there, Clippers. You got to. Don't let them have that breakthrough shooting performance against you. And, of course, Tyrese Maxey is the head of the snake. You got to find a way to shut him down. All right, here we go. It's Carlo Jimenez on the call for the Clippers and Sixers from Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, and tip-off is coming up next right here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
It's almost that time here in Philadelphia as the Clippers kick off a 4-game road trip that will start in the city of brotherly love. So glad that you could be with us for this one. It's the second time this month the Sixers and the Clippers will tango. The Clippers coming away with a victory earlier this season, 110-98. That was back on November 6th in Paul George's first game as a 76er. PG not in action today. Neither is Joel Embiid, a Sixers team that is leaning on their new signees, Caleb Martin, Gershon Yabusele, and Jaron McCain, the rookie, and 16th pick from the 2024 draft, have all been huge pieces for this Sixer team, and they were a big part of their win over the Brooklyn Nets last time out, 113-98. Philadelphia outshot the Nets by 13, turning 19 Nets turnovers into 28 points. The 76ers actually at a fifth of their points this season have come off turnovers. They are one of the best teams in the NBA at forcing turnovers, second in the league at 17 a game from opponents, and Tyrese Maxey and Jaron McCain, the head of the snake. They call them M&M. Some call them Smiling Friends. The nicknames, they're still being workshopped, but one thing is for sure, they're a dynamic duo on the offensive end. The two 6'2" guards can get to the bucket in a hurry. They can shoot from pretty much anywhere, and McCain at a Centennial High School in Corona, California, the last 5 games averaging 26 points a contest. Meanwhile, for your LA Clippers, they won 4 in a row at home during a 4-game homestand, and it capped off with a defensive clinic. Call it a masterclass against the Sacramento Kings.